function is a formula that is used in Excel and is versatile and commonly used logical function that allows you to perform different actions and calculations based on whether the specified conditions or a condition that is true or false. So it's a fundamental tool in making decisions. Remember, in every decision point that you have, you will either say yes or no, meaning true or false in every situation that you will be. So that's why we are using if to help us into the decision-making process. So it is used for both analysis that you have analysis that you're going to do, and also used to automate some of the decision making that you will be doing in Excel. So where do we commonly use if? So if is commonly used to calculate bonuses on sales targets or on performance-based bonuses. You can use if when using assigning letters to grades or your performance scores. You can use if to flag if there is data that you are having. You want to flag maybe they're not similar as what you would expect them to have, or you want just to filter and manipulate data that you have based on a condition that you are having. So that's how we use if. And now we'll be looking at if as a function and its various types. And now after that, now you will find that we will be using if in most of our formulas combined with other formulas or functions. So I want you to follow with me and let us now look into if, the single if. So single if is just an if itself. So we'll be looking at that. And our data that we have today is the data that we have, simple employee data that we are looking at has got employee name, and you have got employee status, meaning active or inactive. There's gender, the status date, and there is a country, and there is salary. So now we've talked about if as a function, and if as a function has got three parts. So the three parts of if are logical test. So this logical test is now your condition that you're going to set. It is now what you want to say that should either be true or false, depending on the specified conditions that you have. So like we're evaluating something, we always have two decisions, false or true. Then now we have got the second part of if is value if true. So value if true is that if a logical test is what you are looking for to on the positive side, then the value is true. So that's what it will give you back. That's what now the answer will be, value if true. Then the other one is always value if false. Because you say that if has got two things, your logical test, your condition must always have two parts. Either it is true or it is false. So now true and false can come out in various ways. You can actually define what true is and what false is. Remember, and this is what you need to remember also, that false will automatically come into your formula even if you don't put it. But true, you will have to have it. So you have to define your condition will have a true. The now false will become optional, always be featuring by itself. If the employee is inactive, then it should be deleted from the list. Yeah, if they're active, then keep on the list. So either way, we are now forming we want to clean our employee list. And we have got two conditions or one condition that can be written into two ways. So the aim is to clean the list. So you can write logical test that will say one of the way it should be that if it is inactive, then delete. That is one. Or we can go by number two, we can go by and say if active, then keep. So when one is true, the other one becomes false. if this one is true, meaning we choose that one as the true, this other one becomes false. And if we choose this as false, or we choose the second option as true, the next one will become false. And the results will be the same. So can we try that now and see? So here we'll look at the decision to be taken. So we said that decision to be taken here is we're cleaning our file, and we can either delete or keep a file. So let us go by the first one. If the status is inactive, then delete the file. So now we write our formula is equals to if, we start with if. So remember that whenever you are keying in a formula in Excel, you always start with an equal sign. So is equals to if. So logical test here is that we take that now whatever is in cell C3, so we'll reference cell C3. We will not type inactive because we know that cell C3 can contain active or inactive. So we say is equals to C if C3 is equals to inactive. Remember to always use double quotation mark to convert the words, the alphabets into computer language. So that one is always what you need to remember, that whenever you're typing any alphabeticals, always convert it. So if C3 is equals to inactive, then what did we say? Now value if true. If it is true, do what? Delete. So the message there should be, the message that we should have on our decision is to delete. If not so, then we are saying keep the file. So meaning if it is active, then keep the file. So now let's see what happens. The answer here is delete. So we've gone with our first logical test and said if this is inactive, then the decision should be delete the file. So I want to go with decision. I want to see decision based on 2 that we have here. So our 2 was if active, then keep. So that one becomes the true. Remember the first one here is that the true is when it is inactive. So that we see that the answer is delete because based on the first logical test. So we need to have another logical test where now our 2 is that if active, then you keep, and now that one becomes the true. So now now we write it in the reverse. So we say if, so we are supposed to have with an equal sign is equals to if this cell C3 can contain the word active. So if that cell contains the word active, remember to always have the quotation marks. If C3 is equals to active, then if it is true, meaning that we are keeping the file. So keep the file. And if it is false, do what? Delete. So now meaning that if it is not, we're not keeping, then we're deleting the file. Those are two decisions that we're having, either keep or delete. So we delete the file. So we see that the answer is the same because either way, it is true or it is false based on our 2 formulas. So let us see. So we drag down and see how it looks like. So for us just to test if you're okay, then I can sort what I have here. I can filter now and see the ones to delete. How are they looking like? So the delete ones are all inactive. That's correct. Then the ones for keep, all of them are active. So we have actually filtered our data based on what we are looking at using the if. So that is the first part of if you're using a single if.